A HELOC, home equity line of credit, or a cash out refinance? Which one is better for you? Stay tuned. We'll have the answer in just a moment. Hey guys, this is Kelly with the Kelly Cook Real Estate Group. We are your Arizona real estate specialist. As always, we are trying to bring value on every single video we do, so it's hopefully a topic of interest to the majority of you guys out there. And this one I think is pretty interesting because we are getting this question a lot. So if I'm getting a lot, I'm sure it's probably out there floating around in the back of the minds out there right now. So we're going to address that right now, and that is, should you do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, or a cash out refinance if you are trying to unlock some of the money, the equity you have in your house? So right now, guys, we're in a situation with the housing market where home values have just skyrocketed over the last 2 to 3 years, right? And people are wondering, should I pull some of that money out and maybe do something with it? I am almost always a fan of doing that. Now, you guys have probably heard of something called ROI, return on investment. There is a real thing out there as well called ROE, return on equity. So in other words, if you have an asset, a home in this situation, right, that is worth $600,000 now, and you only have a $100,000 mortgage, you have $500,000 sitting there that you could do something with. So right now, your return on equity is extremely low, right? And the concept on ROI or ROE is to, in most cases, maximize that, right? And get that number up to double digits, 10 plus return, 12, whatever it may be, 14, 15%, etc. Now, some of you guys like that smaller payment, and for your stage of life that you're currently in, that is good. And that's what you want. And then you're good to go having 500 grand just sitting there illiquid because you don't need it or whatever the case may be, and you're good to go. So it depends on the stage of life and your financial goals. So certainly consult a financial advisor for something like that, of course. But we would also love to help you out. If you have any calls, text messages, want to send to me, you can always call me directly on my cell at 480-227-2028. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. But let's discuss that question about which one's right for me. Well, what are the differences? I think you have 2 steps you got to follow here in evaluating this question. So step 1, check out what your home equity is. Now, to do that, you have to know what the value of your home is. I'm sure you know what the balance of your mortgage is. Most lenders, if you don't, you can go online to your online profile that shows what your current monthly payment is, and most of them will have a payoff request you can do online that they can send to you right away. So it's pretty easy to do. Find out exactly what you owe, and then of course to find out the value, you want to consult someone like myself or whoever it may be, your real estate professional, to find out what it's worth. And don't just go off an algorithm, guys. Don't go off a automated valuation model, AVM, online. Talk to a professional who can actually take everything into consideration when trying to determine what the true value of the home is. It's not just price per square foot. That I can assure you, okay? So once you know what that is, now the question is, I want to unlock some of the equity. What should I do? Well, here are the differences, okay? On a home equity line of credit, it's more like a checkbook. Once you are approved and have that established, you have that line of credit now of $500,000 in that situation, or whatever the case may be, that where you can actually write a check and tap into it as you want to, when you want to. So while you are sitting there not using it, you owe nothing, okay? There's no interest accruing if your balance is 0. Now, with that being said, you typically, for both of these actually, the cash out refi or the HELOC, you need to have some sort of obviously equity in the property left after they give you that HELOC or the cash out refi. Most lenders will at least want 10%, but the vast majority are 15 to 20%, meaning of equity. So going back to that same example, if you have a $500,000 house, to make math easy, 20% is $100,000. So let's say they want a 20% cushion right there, and they'll give you anything under that. So that's $100,000 off. That means at $400,000, they'll give you up to $400K if you owe 0, maybe on a HELOC or a cash out refi, and put debt back onto the property. Now, if you owe 100, then they'll give you 400 minus 100 is 300. They'll give you potentially up to $300,000 as a open line of credit to tap into as you wish. And when you're not using it, you're not being charged for it. So that part is nice, okay? Now, typically a HELOC will be an adjustable interest rate, okay? So typically it will be a number, all right, above whatever the federal funds rate is, or the LIBOR, or whatever, World Economic Financial rate platform they're using, right? Because like the LIBOR is based off a London index, But there's also ones that are based off, say, the federal funds rate, which is what the Fed sets as monetary policy. All right, right now that is 0.75%, and then everything is above that. So if it's, say, Wells Fargo is giving you a HELOC or your local lender, and their federal funds rate +3, then in this situation, your adjustable rate mortgage would be 3.75. And it may stay that way for, most of them are at least 6 months, but a lot of them are a year before they will adjust to the higher rate if the baseline federal funds rate in this example goes up or down, or whatever the case may be. Now, in this environment, we know rates are most likely going to continue to rise because the Federal Reserve has come out and said publicly they're meeting 5 more times, I believe, this year, and they are looking to raise rates every single time they meet the rest of this year. That could change, but as of right now, that's where we're at. So if you're on a adjustable rate mortgage and you have a HELOC and you've already burned that $300,000 and you're paying on it every month because you use it for something, then in that scenario, your payment could go up every, say, 6 months to 12 months when the federal funds rate does increase. So that's not good, obviously. Some of these HELOCs will have a cap. So in one given 12-month period, it can't increase more than a half a percentage point or whatever the case may be. So that could be a good thing. That could not be such a good thing if it's not a very low cap. So you have to look at all those fine print details before you actually sign on the dotted line for the decision that you're going to make, whether it's a HELOC or a cash out refi. Let's pivot now to a cash out refi. The benefit of cash out refi is you literally are getting a whole new mortgage to replace your old mortgage or current one that you have, right? Now, once you do that, if you say you owe $200,000 on the house, your house is worth $600,000. Let's go back to that same example of $500,000, right? Make math easy because I'm not that good on math off my head. I'll be honest, right? I love a good calculator. But anyways, you're at $500,000 and they want 20% cushion, all right? So you have $400,000 to play with. If you owe $100,000, try to keep that same example, there's a difference of $300. So in this example, they will give you a whole new mortgage at $400,000. It will wipe out and pay off your $100,000 you already owe to your old institution, okay? The difference there is $300,000. You get a mortgage for $400, and your payment is at whatever percentage the interest rate is at that point, and that is now your new mortgage that you're paying on a monthly basis for 30 years or 15 years, whatever you decide to do. But that $300,000, guess where that goes? Right in your pocket if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool. All of a sudden you just have $300,000 sitting in your checking or savings account that you now can use for something else if that's what you choose to do. And then as long as you can afford that monthly payment that comes off that $400,000 loan at whatever rate is the rate that you received, then you just freed up capital and you can afford that. It's usually a really good thing, okay? The best thing about that, guys, is it's not taxable. There is no capital gains event that occurred in that situation. Capital gains is defined by IRS when you have a sale of a property. If you just refinance or cash out refi and pull some money out, you get that full $300,000. No taxes go to the federal government. That's a beautiful thing. So in this situation, you are getting tax-free money without having to sell the property. So pretty darn cool. Now you can use that money to maybe go buy another investment property. And now you just doubled your portfolio if all you had before was just the house that you live in. So really, really cool. Okay, now let's go back to the flip side. Go to the HELOC again, okay? Is the interest you pay on the HELOC tax deductible? It is, according to the IRS, if the loan, the proceeds, are used to buy, build, or substantially improve the taxpayer's home that actually secures that loan. So that is really cool as well. You get an interest deduction for pulling cash out to use to maybe improve, do that remodeling project of your house, right? The bathroom, kitchen, whatever it may be. So those are some really cool tricks that you can do if you want to take some equity that you have locked up in your house currently that's illiquid and make it liquid to do certain things that you may want to do. Now, the cool thing with the cash out refi is you don't have to use that money you pull out to do anything with the current house that it secures a loan. You can go buy another house. Don't buy a boat. Please don't buy a boat or a fancy car. They are depreciating assets. Actually, you know what? You can do whatever you want to do, but I like to personally go buy other assets that will appreciate in value and use that capital of money to do so, as long as I'm conservative on knowing that I can afford the monthly payment of that new loan on the cash out refi. So it just depends, guys. They're both great tools to use if you have a bunch of equity in your house currently, which a lot of you do. Give me a call if you want to know how much you have currently in your house, and don't just always rely on a AVM, an automated valuation model that you see online, okay? So guys, I hope that helped. Hope it wasn't too confusing. We went back and forth a little bit between HELOCs and cash out refis. Both are great tools. We would love to discuss that further with you. If you have any questions, 480-227-2028 or info@kellycookhomes.com. Guys, until the next video, thank you very much for being an awesome client or a prospective client, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.